Welcome to Munich. I'm here in my hotel tonight. It's one train stop away from the Alliance Arena, which is where the game's going to be taking place tomorrow between the Seattle Seahawks and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It is a stadium that I have visited before. In 2019, I was there. It's a tremendous setting. It's a great venue for this game to take place. When I actually went to the stadium for the first time, I did a tour of the stadium and the tour guide came up to me. She was very excited. She could see that I was wearing a Seahawks hat at the time and she said, "Are you a Seahawks fan?" I was like, yes, I am a Seahawks fan. And she said, "Me too." And we spent about 15 minutes talking about the Seahawks before the tour even started. So I'm sure she'll be at the game as well. And she'll be very excited to see the Seahawks in person in Germany. And to set the scene for you a little bit as to what's been sort of going on this weekend today, it is absolutely freezing cold in Munich. It's a lot colder here than it has been in England. There's been this like thick fog and mist around Munich today. And as I drove past the arena in a taxi as I was getting to the hotel, you could barely see it, and consider this is one of the huge European soccer football stadiums. It's a very impressive stadium, very well designed. You couldn't even see it through the fog and the mist driving in. So that was the weather today. It is going to disperse by tomorrow. The weather forecast is going to be very sunny. It's going to be a very pleasant afternoon in Munich for the game with a 3:30 p.m. kickoff here in Munich. I went into central Munich a little bit earlier today and it was absolutely rammed full of NFL fans. But it's heaving with NFL fans. They kind of set up this part of the city, which was, they've got an NFL store there. They've got these like big helmets. You could go and have your photos taken. A lot of the NFL fans are congregating around there. There's some sort of local bars and it's still in the main hub of Munich. So there's a lot of fans around the city there. You could just see so many Seahawks fans. Everywhere that you turn, there was Seahawks jerseys, Seahawks hoodies. I would say that the majority of the NFL fans who are in the city for this game are Seahawks fans. And I'm not sure how familiar people in the United States are with sort of the rapid growth of the league here in Europe. When I moved back to the United Kingdom from Vancouver in 2006, the NFL was very much a niche sport. You basically had pockets of very devoted fans who would stay up all night and watch the games. But they were small groups. They were not huge swaths of NFL fans in England. And it was a very popular sport in Germany. But again, I suspect it was very, very niche. And since they started playing the games in London in 2008, the sport has just exploded over here. It's remarkable how much it has taken off. And you see people wearing NFL gear pretty much every day in the United Kingdom these days. I can remember opening my curtains at home one day and seeing a guy walking down the street in a Russell Wilson Seahawks jersey in 2013, 2012. And you would have never have seen that when I moved back from Vancouver initially. So it's a huge sport. Most of the people in England, which is it's a very sporty country, so most sports fans have adopted a team over the last few years and either follow the sport as like a die-hard fan or they follow it, just as another sport to follow. And it's really taken off. And you can kind of see that in Germany today with the way that so many fans have turned out. It's big in Germany, it's big in the United Kingdom. You could hear, UK accents. There's a lot of people on my plane who were Seahawks fans coming over for the game. There's a lot of German Seahawks fans. A lot of American fans have travelled over as well. So, yeah, really big following for this game. And I think there's going to be a lot of people who don't even have tickets for this game who've travelled over to Munich just to sample the atmosphere. I was in London for the Seahawks game in 2018 when they played in London. And, the majority of fans who were there for that game, that was a Seahawks home crowd in Wembley. It was very loud, which is not typical for the London games, which kind of like an exhibition, Super Bowl-y type of feel to them. But it was quite loud in Wembley when the Seahawks played there. And I think it's probably going to be something similar to this. I would say that the definitely sort of number one well-backed team in Munich this weekend are the Seahawks. And I would say probably number two is the New England Patriots. I think a lot of Patriots fans have travelled because they maybe haven't been able to see Tom Brady in person and they're European Patriots fans and they maybe think this is their last opportunity. He's playing in Germany. So there's a lot of Patriots fans in Munich as well. There's a Patriots bar. I don't know if that's a permanent Patriots bar or if it's just something popped up for this weekend, but there was a huge queue all the way down the road to get into this Patriots bar, and it was full of Patriots fans trying to get in there. So they're obviously coming to see Tom Brady. but still, the biggest numbers are following the Seahawks. You might want to know why the Seahawks are so popular. It's just because the sport took off at the time of the LOB, Marshawn Lynch, Russell Wilson era just really beginning. It meshed quite well, so there are a lot of 12 since 12 fans in Europe because of the success of the team. A lot of bandwagon fans, which is fine, but the Seahawks have inherited a lot of fans, and just as the Niners and the Bears did in maybe the 80s and 90s and the Cowboys, the Seahawks and the Patriots have got a lot of fans in Europe as a consequence of the growth of the sport. So I've come back to the hotel now, one, because it was absolutely freezing, and two, because I want to watch college football on ESPN Player. I did just spend an hour downstairs in the bar chatting to a woman who was a big Dallas Cowboys fan. She had a Cowboys jersey on. She's going to the game. We were talking about the game, talking about American football and stuff like that, which is really cool. There's a lot of Seahawks fans in the hotel that I'm staying in. And, we, as we're sort of having that conversation with the Cowboys fan downstairs, it made me, what do I think about this game? And she sort of said that the Seahawks are going to win. And I said, I have no idea. I don't know what to expect. The Seahawks are playing very, very well. They're on that 4-game winning streak. I don't really understand why the Buccaneers are 2.5-point favourites for this game, given the way that they've been playing. I've been really impressed, watching the videos that the Seahawks have put out on social media. The team just seemed to be, their body language is very good. They seem to be taking not only this trip to Germany in their stride, but the fact that they are being talked about, and suddenly, they're being promoted as, rather than being the underdog, people are talking about them in a lot more positive terms. They seem to be taking that in their stride. And I think that's very much a good thing. And the Bucks have not been playing very well this year. The Bucks have been very poor. I know that they won last week, but the Rams have been poor. I don't think you can read too much into that. The offensive line is injured in the interior, and if you create interior pressure on Tom Brady, we all know he's not going to scramble away from that, and it's caused him some issues. Obviously, he's in his mid-40s as well. He's got a lot going on in his personal life. So I think there's an opportunity for the Seahawks to get that 5th straight win and to make a bit of a statement doing it. But look, it's Brady, and you never write him off, and he's going to be thrown to Mike Evans, who always seems to play well against the Seahawks, so it's still a big test. Of course, it's a big test. And I think we're going to learn about how good they are in this game. When you come here to Munich and you travel all that way, you take on the greatest quarterback who's ever played the game, and you try to extend your winning run to 5, regardless of how well Tampa Bay are playing or Brady's playing or how well they perform tomorrow, if you win this game, and even it's a 1-point win or a 10-point win, it's an achievement, to be able to come all the way to the other side of the world and get that done against someone like Tom Brady. So if they can pull it off, it's a huge win. It's another huge win going into the bye week, and Seahawks fans will be feeling ever more confident at 7-3 going into that 2-week break. And it kind of feels at the moment like every game these days is a gauge on how good this Seahawks team is. We get to learn a little bit more about them as the weeks go on, and can this be more than just a good run in a season? And maybe they're going to. I heard Mike Florio talking about this. When are they going to hit their peak? Is that going to come over the next few weeks, where they do peak and maybe then return a little bit more to the mean? Or are we just sort of seeing the start of something really special here, especially in an NFC that is wide open? You couldn't look at even the Eagles, but all, in particular, teams like Minnesota, and go, they're that much better than the Seahawks, the way that the Seahawks have been playing, which is why it's important to keep winning, to try and stick with those teams, and to show that you are, very capable of being a big-time challenger in this conference. So another gauge, I'm going to see what content I can grab at the Alliance Arena and see what I can get when I head over there. I will be posting as much as I can to the channel and to the blog. I will be doing the usual post-game live stream with Robbie, but it might be a little bit of a later time, because I'm either going to try and do it in the stadium after everything's finished and the press conferences are done and everything like that, or I'm going to have to get the train back to the hotel, which will take a little bit of time, and then get set up and get started. So it's not going to be an instant reaction live stream, but we will do a live stream at some point. I'm sure that most of you will not mind, given that the kickoff time is about 6:30 in the morning in Seattle, so it'll just be a little bit later than it usually is in terms of the game finishing, but it's probably going to end up being about the same time anyway than a usual early game would finish. So keep an eye out for that for when we go live. Here's to a great game in Germany tomorrow, and look, stay tuned to my Twitter feed, stay tuned to SeahawksDraftBlog.com. Curtis Allen's preview will be up first thing Sunday as usual, and it's a great read again. And stay tuned to the channel for that live stream and for plenty of coverage of the Seahawks in Germany. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow.